Welcome to Backstory and Beyond. My name is John Daniel, and I'm humbled to be your host. But I'm thrilled to be here with Miss Reshma Sheikh, who is the CEO, president of the Minority Supplier Development Council in the United Kingdom. Thank you, ma'am, for coming on in. Much appreciated. Thank you for coming to Backstory and Beyond. As you are aware, Backstory and Beyond is about really helping people become their best by looking at topics such as calling, service, peak human potential, purpose. All these things are important. And your story in leadership, where you've come from, is a perfect example to people all over the world. That said, I just want to give the floor to you. Please start by telling us a little bit about your backstory.
So, I'm a child of a migrant. Born in the UK to amazing parents, and things weren't always easy. So I was brought up in the inner city, and the only way out was education. So I studied and worked hard, and I could talk for England. So naturally, everybody said she'd be a damn good lawyer, and I did end up going into law. I qualified as a corporate restructuring lawyer, albeit I was advised by my careers advisor, with my language skills and my background, I should go into immigration, crime, family. Little did she know, my language skills are atrocious, and I don't know where she got that idea from, but academically I did better in business law subjects. And I thought, well, there's not many people like me in those areas. I want to do that, and I didn't give up. So I worked for a top 10 global firm, was on fast track to partnership, worked hard, play hard. However, children came along. And I didn't think this. I didn't actually know that my life would turn upside down as soon as I held my beautiful daughter in my arms. I did not want to go back to work. I can still remember having those arguments with my husband saying, why don't you just work hard? I don't want to work anymore. And he's like, but you've studied for years for this. But I loved being a mummy. The best job I've ever done, the most rewarding job I've done.
The hardest job in the world.
100%, 100%. It was the hardest job, but it was amazing. So went back to work shortly afterwards, then had my second child. And that's when I started thinking about what I wanted to do, because law being the way it was good plus 15, 20 years ago, it was you got into work before the children woke up. You'd get home after they went to sleep, and it wasn't the life I wanted. So that's how I fell into the world of entrepreneurship. And I joined a friend's business. I thought I'd do it for 2 years. I'd help them scale so that they can sell. And then I'd be a stay-at-home mummy. Little did I know, 10 years later, I'd end up leading the UK arm of the organisation.
Wow.
And was a member of a great organisation called MSD UK. So MSD UK is born out of NMSDC. We're an advocacy body. And I won work through this network. I made friends through the network. I won awards. I was, in fact, recognised as a top 100 woman in UK tech through the MSD UK network. Awesome. Through another network, but the brand awareness and exposure came through this network. And again, COVID happened. The business was successful. I was working globally. I'd learned a lot. And I then I was stuck at home. I couldn't travel. My children were becoming teenagers. Mummy's guilt had taken over. And I decided that I want to stay at home more. So then I became chairman of the board. But anybody who's an entrepreneur or in the entrepreneurial world will know that that's not possible. Clients want you and they drag you in again. So I decided to transfer and sell and had no idea what I was going to do. And I think I manifested this, but an opportunity came up at MSD UK. I wanted to do something with purpose and impact, and this ticked all the boxes. And I joined end of 2023 and took over as CEO in October 24. So I lead Minority Supplier Development UK, and we're an advocacy body certifying ethnic minority businesses.
That's fantastic. That word you used, I'm reflecting on impact. Impact can be good, it can be challenging, but knowing what the impact is with human beings allows us to back into a solution for the problems 100%. And to create an advancing strategy for doing better in the future. And it's noticeable that you use that word. And I've heard you use it before, but I just wanted to underscore that. That said, with the impact of your leadership, tell me about not just the responsibilities, but perhaps some of the things you're most proud of. I mean, every time I looked on social media, LinkedIn, and this is good stuff, folks, okay, I see another meeting happening. I see MBEs growing, learning and earning, learning and earning. That's important. And so tell me about one of those things or two of those things you're most proud of.
To be honest, I always think it's not enough. So whilst you say you see a lot of great things, what you see is probably 10 or 20% of what we're actually doing. I get in trouble for not posting as much as I should. I'm out there in the community a lot. I'm creating that impact a lot. I'm making sure that I'm present and engaging with the community. And in terms of what I'm proud of, I love when I see diverse businesses and our large corporates or government bodies that we work with connecting. We're there to act as that bridge.
I think the superpower you just mentioned that you have is that you're walking in the community. You're working in the community. Those things are huge because it's sort of like when the lights come on and you're playing the game to win, you have to have put in the time. And that's what I hear you saying, and I much appreciate that. Anything else you want to share about your responsibilities or initiatives in your leadership impactful role?
In terms of my leadership and the impactful role I'm doing, my responsibility is to act like the uncle and aunt, the golf club, the connection that I actually didn't have when I entered the world. Because not all of us have the privilege and support mechanisms around us. Despite me being a corporate lawyer, you'd think I would know, but there's many others like myself. So in terms of that impact, sharing that knowledge, that good practice to help elevate all of us, because I genuinely believe together we're all stronger and we shouldn't be competing against each other. May the best business win, but equally, not everybody has the same skill sets, development opportunities, support structure, or even resources to tap into organizations like MSD UK. We're a community that help each other.
You know, as you spoke, I thought about a couple things, but let me cut to a chase here. All of these organizations, if they are to grow, need capital to scale. Please share your thought leadership on that need and any suggestions that you have that might make that more accessible to them.
That is the biggest bane of any business. In terms of my background, I'm actually a corporate restructuring lawyer, an insolvency lawyer. I saw the most amazing businesses fail because of cash flow, capital, leveraging too much or not having any capital. So I can see the positive impact having that support mechanism can do to elevate businesses and not having it as well. The problem is we're not always in the room. We don't know what we need to do. We don't have the connections. So therefore, take advantage of programs and schemes that give you that opportunity. Even as, for us as an organization, we're here to advocate on your behalf. Mm-hmm. Keep in contact with us and give us that feedback. because that feedback helps us influence those large organizations that provide capital to engage with you. So again, we don't always know, but if our voices all come together, actually we can make a difference. And yes, there is a massive challenge. And if you add, you're a small business, it's hard. Add that you're a diverse business, there are other challenges as well. But that can be easily overcome by sharing good practice amongst each other and making sure we're actually ready to request that capital.
Outstanding, outstanding. You know, as we talk about MBEs, we talk about your team, all parties need to attract, train, retain, and develop the people who are with them. Share with me your strategy on that based upon, and that'll be my next question, some of the challenges that are coming along. Please go right ahead.
You're only as good as the people around you.
Ooh.
You're only as good as the weakest link. You're only as strong as the weakest link, I always used to say as well. And I can't do what I do without my incredible team. And we work extremely well together. And I can't be a subject matter expert in everything. In fact, I would advocate for everyone, get more intelligent people around you. Get individuals who are specialists in those particular areas. If you're not strong with finance, you make sure you get the best finance manager you need. If you're not good at doing pitches and business development and sales, because an entrepreneur and a CEO doesn't have to be good at everything. And I think that's the one thing you've got to accept. But you bring the right people in and you grow the right people as well. Experience is so important. So it's not just about recruiting the right staff, it's about retaining those staff. They will help you grow as an organization. They will actually help you get to the next stage that you need to be in.
Well stated. Extending from that, I'm pondering the notion of what the right staff is. I'm of the opinion that innovation is only promoted and produced, promulgated, call it what you want, by having inclusion around the table. People who have walked in different circumstances, crossed different hurdles, been to the rodeo. Please share your thoughts.
Yeah, 100%. You can't have mini-me's. Please do not recruit the same as you because then they've got the same ideas as you. I want people that's going to challenge me. I want individuals who are going to, they can tell me that actually they see things from different perspectives. All our learned experiences are our superpowers. So therefore, make sure you get individuals who are, you can't have diversity without inclusivity. They both work very interchangeably. You need a diverse team. That doesn't include just race and gender and sexuality, but that also it takes into consideration age and social mobility as well. Because bear in mind, these are going to be your customers. These are people that will be able to liaise with your market. So you need that diversity of thought within your organization. So innovation is not just tech. Innovation is also people who bring that creativity that you need. And that helps when it comes to competitiveness. Because you want a team that all add to the mix. Not take away, but actually make you even stronger.
Adore your thoughts. Couple more questions. The last one will be your discussion around anything that we've missed. So I'll just leave that for the end. But I want to go to another topic which I think is relevant today. And it brings into account another topic I had brought up. The change in administrations, the change in leadership, not just in the U.S., but around the world, and the conservative drift that has occurred that isn't always as supportive of MBE development. And associated with that, and you take it one at a time or you blend them, whatever you like, there is this idea of sending good information, misinformation, and disinformation. Seems to me one of the biggest challenges of this kind of change. Take it anywhere you want to.
The media have a great responsibility, a big responsibility. And I completely hear you when you say there is misinformation, there is fake news, there's sensationalizing topics that don't need to be, and there's a lot of scapegoating going on at the moment. And that's very disheartening, especially to someone like me, and others like me. But let's not focus on the noise. Let's focus on the impact. And that's what we're doing as an organisation. But you have to be supported by diverse media broadcasting agencies to be able to outshine and bring all of these conversations to the forefront. And that's the bit where I think there's a lack of diversity within the media industry generally, and that diversity of thought. So you will get lots of one-sided stories. So we've got platforms now. Media's changed. Social media is a platform where you can do your research. Don't take everything at face value, and don't just read the headlines. I believe education is important, and it's our responsibility to make sure we showcase great case studies and dispel the misconceptions that are out there at the moment.
What I heard you say is that democratization of broadcast through informational sessions like this and others, including some of the conventional stations, offer a greater opportunity to get different opinions about what's happening, particularly for people who walk in those moccasins. And I think that's really, really important. Are you finding any challenge that you don't think you can overcome in regard to the conservative drift in the world right now?
There's never a challenge that we can't overcome.
Tell it.
We've always overcome challenges. It's what makes us stronger. Through adversity comes opportunity. And now is a time to actually reposition, reflect, and come back stronger. In fact, this will be a blessing in disguise. Yes, things are hard.
One of my favorite athletes says, pressure is a privilege. Billie Jean King, tennis star. I think it's important, and quite frankly, some of the best of humanity has been brought forth when those challenges are there. Whether it's Stevie Wonder or Marvin Gaye, whoever it might be, in music, in acting, they all come as a result. That takes me to final thoughts from you. Have we missed anything? And I know today this is going to be one thing, tomorrow it'll be something else, because you're always thinking how to get better.
I could talk and talk and talk, but what I can say is don't lose that spark and that passion. That's what drives us. That's what gives us our perseverance. Resilience is so important, and what makes us different is our superpower. I've always been proud of everything that made me different. There was a time I'd walk into a room thinking, do I belong? Now I walk into the room and I own it. And that confidence, it comes with time. So surround yourself with some great people. Make sure that they fill your cup up, and constantly understand that every trial and problem that we face is putting us on the right path for where we're supposed to be.
Thank you, Reshma Sheikh, for always delivering pearls of wisdom that people can walk away with, and inspiring messages. Because no matter how much technical skill you have, no matter how much money you have, if the drive isn't there to complete the race, it's challenging. Thank you so much for coming in. I always appreciate talking to you. And just as we close out, we are at the National Minority Supplier Development Council's convention in Miami. It's an annual convention that focuses on bringing people together who are MBEs, minority business entrepreneurs. I think these are the folks that we're trying to help along, as your organization is the United Kingdom version of this.
That's right.
But you work together.
100%.
So,
collaboration is key.
I'll end on that. Take care, folks. See you next time. Blessings. Excellent.